Welcome to You and Your Money. Today's episode features Lizel Langevin, Senior Vice President and Financial Advisor at WHZ Strategic Wealth Advisors.
All right, so let's talk about windfalls today. Obviously, many people dream of suddenly coming into a large sum of money, but I would imagine there are some pitfalls that you should be aware of if this should happen to you. So what's the first thing you should do if you receive unexpected money?
The first thing, take a pause.
Yeah.
Because people, when they receive a windfall, whether it's an inheritance or a bonus, which are the two most common, emotions, excitement take over. And, it could also be grief if you're dealing with an inheritance, but confusion about what to actually do with that. And if you can take time to process those emotions first and just take a cooling off period, you're going to be in a lot better place.
Let's keep going with that too. I imagine there's a lot of pressure, both internal and external pressure when you come into a lot of money.
That's right. And they can be significant. I mean, internally, you might have that temptation to splurge and make drastic lifestyle changes immediately. Externally, you might have some friends and family that are saying, oh, invest in this business. Or maybe there's some charities that might approach you as well. And so that's why having a trusted advisor can really help you navigate those pressures objectively and really say, is that really a good choice?
So let's imagine you're taking the pause. Okay, you're going to think this out. What should your next step be?
Yeah, after that initial cooling off period, we would recommend a 3-step approach. So first, it's assessing that your personal balance sheet. So that's taking stock of, okay, what are my debts? Do I have credit card debt? Do I have a mortgage? And then assessing your assets. So the money that you have in your bank accounts or investments or retirement accounts, and just making sure that you have a clear picture on where you stand there. Second, it's addressing immediate financial needs. And that might mean paying off high interest debt. So like credit cards and things like that, establishing an emergency fund if you don't have one, and then catching up on retirement contributions. So that's really important too. And then third, it's to allocate the remaining funds strategically based on those short and long-term goals. And so that's really important. And that's where an advisor can help you think through that.
Let's talk about inheritances, which are one of the most common types of windfalls, I would imagine. Are there any special considerations you should keep in mind when dealing with inherited money?
Yes. So they often come with emotional and financial complexities. So you're dealing with the loss of a loved one, and that's really hard. And so sometimes you have that, I want to carry out their legacy kind of a thing. And so this can sort of create a complicated relationship with the money that you inherit. But from a financial perspective, it's different inherited assets and have different tax implications. So when you're inheriting a traditional IRA, for example, versus a Roth IRA, one is taxed pretty heavily, the other is not. So that's beneficial to those that have higher income. And also you get a step up in the basis when somebody passes away. So if you inherit some assets that get a step up in basis, like a house, for example, or a regular investment account, that can actually reduce your capital gains. And just on top of that, if you've inherited a family home or a business, there's decisions whether you keep, sell, you manage it. So those can all be really stressful as well. But we have a great guide on our website. It's in our resources page, and it just walks you through those basic considerations for either leaving your estate behind or inheriting an estate. So it's a really helpful resource on our website.
Let's talk about workplace bonuses. How should you approach that type of windfall?
Yeah, and this is the second most common type of windfall, and it's really a great opportunity to advance your financial position, but it does come with some consideration. So the first one, bonuses are taxed differently. They're taxed at higher rates. I mean, this will all filter out when you do your taxes, but they're taxed at those higher rates. And then secondly, it's for significant bonuses, we have sort of a kind of similar to your budgeting 50-30-20 strategy. It's take 50% of that and put it towards financial stability and longer term goals. So, for a second, think about the future in that 50%. 30% of that bonus, maybe it goes to medium-term goals like home improvement or other education funding if you have children, for example. And then 20% of it, take it and go do something fun. Go on a vacation or enjoy, because you've worked hard for that. So you should reward yourself.
What about, let's say you're an executive and you have a more complex compensation package that goes beyond an outright bonus?
Yeah. So for executives, I mean, the most common right now is restricted stock units or RSUs.
Yeah.
And so those are really, they're beneficial, but they can come with some tax consequences that you may not be aware of. So it's really important to consider the tax efficiency, and those consider, specialized planning, because they typically tend to vest over a period of time. So you just want to consider that against your goals and maximizing those benefits and minimizing taxes as much as possible.
So again, you talked a lot about what you should do if there's unexpected money. Let's talk about what not to do. Don't do this.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So there's 4 things here that I recommend. Number 1, lifestyle inflation. So immediately upgrading your standard of living to match that windfall. And so that can really quickly deplete what you might feel as a substantial sum. Number 2, another mistake, making those investment decisions on yourself and taking tips from friends. Sometimes people will say, invest large portions in this speculative investment or business venture. Number 3 is overlooking tax implications. So that's an important one. I gave the example of the traditional IRA versus the Roth IRA and how those are taxed so differently. So it can really impact your situation. And then lastly, people, they may neglect their estate plan. So you want to update that as soon as you receive that windfall, because you may have different intentions now that you have a little more money.
And how about incorporating that windfall into a broader financial plan? What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we do at WHZ is we specifically help our clients with these types of life events like windfalls. And we want to put it into a comprehensive plan. So it's helping prioritize both short-term and long-term goals. And whether that's retirement savings, funding education, paying off a mortgage, supporting a charity, all of those things, which are really, really important.
For more information regarding wealth management and customized financial planning with WHZ Strategic Wealth Advisors, please visit WHZwealth.com. WHZ Strategic Wealth Advisors offer securities and advisory services through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Fixed insurance products and services offered through CES Insurance Agency. They practice at 697 Pomfret Street, Pomfret Center, Connecticut 06259, and 392A Merrow Road, Tolland, Connecticut 06084. They can be reached at 860-928-2341. WHZ Strategic Wealth Advisors do not provide legal or tax advice. The tenured financial services team strives to support clients in achieving their financial life goals while providing absolute confidence and unwavering partnership for life.